It's kind of a crazy story. I was nominated, God, in like 2017 or 2018.
Oh,
But I was still actively cheering and filming overlaps with NFL season. And I like wasn't ready, cheerleading. It was my world and that's where I wanted to be.
mhm.
So I didn't reach back out or anything. And then I retired a year ago and my friend nominated me again. And then it was like the same
Oh,
casting producer reached out. So yeah, it was kind of serendipitous.
oh, so interesting. Were you a big fan of the show, or did you watch it?
Honestly, not really. I've watched It's Always Around Us because I feel like it really influences our culture. Everyone watches it, like
Of
from all
course.
different kinds of demographics. So I knew a lot about it, but I wasn't like a super avid watcher.
Okay. So what surprised you about what went into making the show when you were on it?
Um,
Like any
I
aspect?
I guess nothing really surprised me because I didn't know what to expect.
That's
So
true.
yeah, I didn't have like preconceived notions or expectations. I was just kind of along for the ride. I guess I was most surprised that it was like it actually worked. I had like really real feelings for Clayton and everything I said was true. And
Hmm.
so that part was kind of wild because I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's fake, it's produced. But
Hmm.
yeah, not really. So
But
uh,
so as a bachelorette, how much say did you have in the contestants? Do you like tell them your type? Do you show them like photos? How does it work?
I think they kind of know, who I am, what I look for. Of course, it always depends on who they're looking for, who applies and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think also it's like what one thing I really took away from Clayton season, this whole experience is like everything happens for a reason. You kind of have to trust yourself and your intuition and what's guiding you. So I knew I just going into this process, I had to like relinquish some control and just be like, everything is going to happen the way it's supposed to, and having that mindset I think really helped me like be successful, and keep my head in the game and come out with no regrets.
Cool. So what's a funny untold story from behind the scenes this season? It could be either with Rachel or one of the guys.
Well, they didn't show it, but our last date with Tino and Jason, we were able to meet up afterwards, which was so much fun. We had both had like great, amazing day dates. And Rachel was like, we should like pull a prank and tell Tino and Jason that we're switching for the nighttime because we know we have strong connections, but maybe it's worth exploring the other person.
Oh,
I know it was so funny. The boys were like speechless and like didn't know how to tell us that they weren't interested in that idea. They're
oh
like,
my
no,
God.
we actually don't want to. It was pretty priceless.
That's so funny. So, as far as your profession, so you were working as an ICU nurse and a cheerleader. You were doing that at the same time, right?
Yes.
How did you balance both? I mean, did you work part-time as a nurse or?
Yeah, luckily I really had my career under my belt. I started right after college, so I was a nurse
Wow.
starting at 22, and then I started cheering at 25 or 26. So I had experience under my belt. I had learned so much. I have a really, great group of nurses surrounding me. It was like family. I always
Mhm.
say that they really raised me. So I would
Nice.
go back and forth between part time and full time, but I think really feeling grounded in nursing and getting that experience first allowed me to like branch out into something else.
So interesting. So, did you get to date football players and doctors?
Whoa, you're here for the tea.
I
uh,
mean, as a late as neither in since I'm in neither of those professions, I would assume that you have opportunities there.
yeah, naturally, I dated my fair share of doctors. Definitely every specialty. But I didn't date any football players. They're really like I was older. A lot of football players are like fresh out of
That's true.
college.
That's true.
So that I always like was more attracted to brains versus bronze.
Okay.
Sorry.
What's the best what's the best doctor specialty to date for those people out there?
Oh God, what should I
That's funny.
mean? I feel like the surgeons make the most money,
True.
but they're all good, I think.
So funny. So what was the hardest part about being a nurse during that time, during COVID?
Oh gosh, it was honestly, I was an ICU nurse, a medical ICU nurse. So a lot of our specialty were patients who were on ventilators dealing with
Mm.
pneumonia and a similar disease process to COVID. So it almost like, I think nurses got a lot of attention and a lot of praise, but for us, it's like what we always do. It's like just
Yeah.
finally now it's how people are seeing it. But it really wasn't, I mean, the sheer volume of patients were definitely different. And you just have to rely on like teamwork, and we were, overworked and running out of resources. But you constantly nursing, it allows for a lot of creativity and problem solving, because you just need to get, through it to do what's best for your patients. So sometimes you have hurdles that you just have to get over by working with one another. But I think the biggest takeaway was families not being allowed to be with the patients at their bedside, especially when patients were severely ill and maybe families didn't get to say goodbye. It was really just a tragic time, because it felt like it was so hard emotionally, but then the nature of the disease and being so contagious, they weren't able to get the support that they needed. Our patients.
After all of this?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Are you going to go back to being a nurse after this?
I was an ICU nurse for 8 years, so it is a long time spent, and a pretty critical environment. So I'm so grateful for my time. But if I go back, I love medicine. I have such a passion for the medical field. I think anyone who works in it can relate. So I think, if I were to go back, I would switch gears away from the bedside. But really, my career made me who I am in so many different ways. It's really, taught me how to rely on myself, how to listen to myself, how to advocate for yourself and for patients who really need it. So it's giving me all of these stepping stones to be the woman I am.
So I also saw, I don't know, I saw this on Wikipedia. Were you the sports editor of your school newspaper?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think so.
That's so interesting.
Wow.
It's so interesting being a journalist. That popped out. So then I was going to ask you, like, since you have experience with TV now, would you ever be like a sports broadcaster?
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be kind of a natural transition, but I always, I connect with writing more. Like, I'm better with my words and stuff. And I think that is why I wrote for the paper. I did want to be a journalist.
That's so cool.
But I went to nursing just, I feel like, for more stability, and like, cause it's kind of hard to be a new journalist, I think. But yeah, no, I love to get to know people, which I also did in nursing, and I just really connect with like written words. So I don't think so, but that would be a natural transition.
And do you keep in touch with your fellow Broncos cheerleaders?
Of course, they're still some of my best friends. I mean, it really is a sisterhood, because much like this experience with Rachel, you see each other at your lowest of lows when you're all beat up and down on yourself. And when, you're experiencing highs, like, oh, I had like a good practice. I had a really good game. I'm, connecting and stuff. So you get to bond in a way. I feel like that just normal friends don't really have that similar experience. So.
My last question is, is there anything that you did on screen that you don't want your grandpa to see eventually? He's so cute, by the way.
Yeah, he's used to it. I wanted to be, my realest self, and I am an adult making my own decisions. So my family have been very supportive, and Dad watches like through a window like this, but whatever works.
Exactly. And I also thought it was really cute that the scene where you were like telling the guy, oh, I even forgot what guy it was, but you were telling him that you had extensions on.
Oh yeah.
That was really cute, because we all know like everyone's wearing extensions, but like I thought it was cute that you like brought it up, and that was really funny.
Oh yeah, I'm always trying to be real. I'm like, you have to know how much work and effort goes into this. And like when I wake up, if I look like Jack Nicholson, like, don't say I didn't warn you.
It's so funny. All right, great. Thank you so much, Gabby, and good luck. And it's so fun to watch you and Rachel this season. So I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thanks, Angela.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Angela.
it.
Bye.